Good day, Brutal Planet listeners. This is Eric Peterson in Salt Lake City today, and it is my pleasure to be joined by Anton Kabanen from one of my favorite bands, Beast in Black. How are you doing today, Anton?
All good, thank you. I hope you're doing well as well.
I am. Where are you joining us from today?
Well, I'm here home in Helsinki at the moment.
Oh, are you? Okay. How are things there?
Well, quite all right. Yesterday was a long day at the music video shooting, and today I was just kind of restoring my energy and doing other works around the band.
Yeah.
Emails, sending emails here and there,
Yeah.
stuff that happens in the background.
Hey, it beats the alternative, right?
Yeah.
Which is not doing any of it.
Of course, I'm never like having a boring day in my life. There's always something to do.
Good, good. Well, let's talk about the new album, Dark Connection, which comes out October 29th. I have to say I've listened to the album a few times and has more sense than I'm used to in other Beast in Black albums. But that being said, it's still one of the heaviest albums you guys have put out.
Yeah, well, you actually are correct in that there are more synths, but there's also more like this heaviness.
Yeah.
What we did with it, just we expanded the spectrum, so to speak, made it wider. So there's more heavy guitar riffs, and maybe also like mix-wise the sounds are somewhat heavier than on the previous album or albums.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore. I've spent so much time with it that I became kind of deaf and blind to the whole album. But I hope that it turned out like that. And it seems like at least you have that impression from it, that it's heavier, but also having more synths.
Which is fine. I mean, nobody wants to hear the same album over and over again. We all like progression, especially if it's something you're interested in, which obviously it seems like you guys are. But like I said, you don't hold, being that there's more sense in it doesn't mean that it's any lighter. It's actually heavier in a lot of its sound. I mean, like you mentioned the guitar in some of the songs. I was really like Revengeance Machine was one of the ones I just went, wow. And hardcore, how could you not have it be heavy? So
yeah.
Were there any songs that on the album that for you have any more meaning than the other? I mean, tell us a little bit about the album itself.
Well, to me, every song is equally important.
Yeah,
I'm gonna use this cliche metaphor, but how can you choose which child you love more?
Exactly. Yeah, true. Good point.
That's the case with me on every album, personally. But usually there's like 3 categories on an album.
Yeah.
Throughout my whole career, there's always been Berserk. That's the anime and manga that's been on my previous band's Battle Beasts 3 first albums. It's been present there. And same thing with Beast in Black. Always there has been songs about Berserk. And on this album, there's 3 songs about Berserk. What was the first one? Dark New World, To the Last Drop of Blood, and Broken Survivors. Well, those 3 have nothing to do with this kind of a cyberpunk science fiction theme that is quite obvious when you look. I mean, the cyberpunk theme is obvious on the album cover, the music video, with the promo pictures, but you have to kind of choose and create a strong profile for your album. Like, okay, how do we present this? How do we also market this?
Yeah.
And most of the songs were about this cyberpunk, inspired by cyberpunk, and that's why the visuals are like leaning towards that direction. That said, there are lots of other animes which, apart from Berserk, which influenced the album. Armitage the Third, Battle Angel Alita, Cyber City 0808, Bubblegum Crisis. They are like these 80s, 90s cyberpunk animes, which were playing the biggest role. And also the film Blade Runner that played a big role in the overall picture. And then there's a couple of songs that are mostly like not inspired by, based on my like personal experiences and thoughts and emotions. But even those songs are kind of hybrids with the inspirations that come from these animes and films. So I kind of try to connect things. In the first album, I have to go back a little bit. The title track, "Beast in Black" from the Berserker album. Mm-hmm. It's 100% based on Berserk, but it's also 100% based on my own personal experiences and life. If you look, like, I don't know how familiar you are with the past that I had with Battle Beast.
Yeah,
it's kind of it's fitting that song. The lyrics are fully fitting to what I kind of felt that I was going through and how I feel and how I see things. But I tried to write the lyric in a way that, first of all, it could fit to the Berserk story, the anime, and 100%. And then I just, use the words and metaphors and build it up. So it's relatable in more than just one way. And same thing with this Dark Connection album. Even though there are kind of three categories, like cyberpunk stuff, Berserk stuff, personal stuff. But the personal stuff is kind of affected heavily by the cyberpunk stuff on this album.
So. Interesting. I mean, regardless of the cyberpunk versus the Berserk stuff, it kind of all kind of streams into personal experience anyway.
Of course,
Yeah.
And the reason why that happens is I would not choose any topic that doesn't interest me. The cyberpunk stuff resonates in me. Berserk stuff resonates in me. It pushes the right emotional buttons on me. And when I write about that, it becomes personal. I choose to kind of express those thoughts and feelings from those outside sources, which I get. I express those feelings which I get from the animes and the films and mangas in my own way, using my own word. And that's how it becomes personal. And that is the reason why this example, what I told you, this title track from the debut album, it is also personal, even though it's 100% like about the anime and manga.
Yeah.
So that was a good point you mentioned there.
So do you as far as the recording of the album, how did you guys go about it, being that, you guys are kind of spread out all over the place? Did you was it traditionally recorded, or did you guys all do your parts and send them in?
Well, at the moment, actually, only our bass player lives outside Finland, but...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we still kind of do it in a modern way. We have our studio. Well, I have my studio gear and my own studio, and we record it there. We don't practice the songs together in advance. What I usually do is I send the songs, I write them as MIDI files. I use this Guitar Pro 4 software for the last, 18 or 17 years. I write everything with that. And I send the files to the guys to do their homework. And when they pick the songs, they come to the studio, record it, and I just then, edit the stuff and produce a mix, and that's it. And it was quite how to say, it's easy and difficult at the same time.
Yeah.
The easiness comes from the fact that you can enter the studio whenever you kind of want. It's 24/7 access,
Mm-hmm.
no limitations. But also with this pandemic happening, that was actually the reason why we had the time in the first place to make this album. Otherwise, this album would have come out in 2023 or 2024 because we were planning lots of gigs for the last year and this year. But since there were not many gigs, we were able to make this. And the more time there is at hand, I kind of, dive too deep into this album making and spend so much time with it that it becomes in the end too difficult to let go of it. The more time spent with something that you're passionate about, the more difficult it becomes to let go and for the world to see. And that is the difficult aspect. But the easy aspect is that we can use our studio whenever we want, and we don't have to book any producers or times. Self-sufficient fully.
Have you ever recorded in the traditional sense where you actually go to a studio?
No, it's
okay.
Always the first album is the same kind of method. Yeah.
Nice, because you think about the pressures of going into a studio and having to knock things out in a certain amount of time because you're paying for it, and this seems like it has a lot of advantages to it. I mean, it could have some disadvantages that people are lazy and they just they want to just take their time and do stuff, and so. But overall, it seems like the direction a lot of people are going.
Yeah. With the technology at hand, it's possible to have these smaller studios that are not commercial, but just for your own use.
Yeah,
it's becoming almost a norm nowadays. So I think commercial studios are suffering more now than ever before. I think there's been a time that it was like kind of the first option to make an album is okay, we have to go to studio and like have a producer. But nowadays it's kind of the opposite. So.
Yeah. So I was just I wanted to ask too, you talked a little bit about, you had a lot of plans for touring with the last album. And did you ever, you got some shows in, correct?
Yeah, last year we played 3 shows. This year we played 4 shows. All in all 7 shows in 2 years. But in the end of this year, in November and December, we are supposed to have this European tour, and there's still a chance for it to happen entirely. So we haven't lost our hope with that yet, and hope we won't. So we follow the situation day by day, how it evolves. And eventually, still, the world will learn, the world will adapt to kind of function in this COVID situation. There will be a solution that will enable us all kind of to continue the normal way of life. I hope so, because we've gone through much, much worse as a humankind. When you think about, for example, the World War II, that lasted for a few years, and it was much worse than the pandemic that we've had now for 2 years. I don't want to say that it's like to be taken lightly, the pandemic, but you always have to look to the past and see that go in waves always.
So from Hell with Love, when you were playing that live, did you feel like you were getting to play and give that the proper justice that it needed? Even though you only did, what'd you say, 3 shows?
No. Last year, for the From Hell with Love album, we played entire 2019. So we did play 2 full European tours that were planned. Those happened.
Yeah.
So for the first and the second album From Hell with Love, we were able to finish the touring cycle.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah. So the last show for that touring cycle actually was our biggest headline show we ever did. It was in our this home city, Helsinki. We played an ice hall show, 13th of December 2019, and soon after that, the pandemic hit. So we were really lucky. Like we were able to finish the European tours and did a busy festival summer there, and then this kind of a climax or pinnacle of this tour. It was the ice hall show. So yeah.
I consider myself lucky as an American because I feel like I got to see you guys live in the Sabaton Open Air in 2018, which was an amazing show. And I know that you guys got to play in Montreal, correct? That was your only show in North America?
Yeah, that was our only show so far.
Oh man, okay.
I remember still that day really clearly. So we really were surprised. The audience was like on fire. Like I know that it wasn't packed at that time of the day yet. But we were all surprised. How do these people like sing along and know these songs and like how they are so fired up? Like wow.
Yeah.
And we kind of really hope that this Hammerfall support tour would have happened in North America in 2020.
Yeah.
They announced and this pandemic ruined the plans, but eventually we'll come to North America for sure, and just a matter of time.
That's what I like to hear. I like to hear that you guys are coming to the States because, like I said, I love seeing you in Sweden, but I would love to see you in my hometown even. You know, it'd be great to see you guys in Salt Lake City, which you guys were scheduled to come to Salt Lake City. So
yeah, it will happen. You can't count on that.
Good. Well, Anton, I appreciate your time, and I have to encourage everybody to go pick up this new album when it comes out, because it's, again, like I said, one of the heavier albums you guys have put out, even with the more synths in it. It's got a lot heavier. So
okay, cool. So, I'm glad to hear it. Thanks for like supporting us.
Of course,
we really that means a lot to us. And
yes, the Beast in Black. When I saw you guys, I mean, I had heard about you and I'd listened to you, but then seeing you live just kind of sealed the deal for me that you guys are one of the bands that I just truly love, because you're so intense live that it was, and fun. I mean, I have to say you're fun too. I mean, but it's a live show that should not be missed. So
yeah. Cool.
Well, thank you, and we will talk to you soon. And I look forward to hearing more about the album and seeing you guys in North America.
Yeah, definitely. So thanks for the conversation, and take care, and see you.